Mr. Mike.
By the great saxophonist and composer John Coltrane, and it was entitled "A Love Supreme." And Coltrane at that time, and probably since the late 1950s, was generally considered the premier, at least tenor saxophonist, maybe saxophonist in the jazz world. He had gone through his own set of some personal difficulties, so to speak, came out on the other side, hooked up with some very important jazz figures such as Thelonious Monk, the great pianist composer, and a return stint with the band of Miles Davis in the late 1950s, which was generally considered Miles' first great quintet, that late 1950s band, which featured Coltrane and a few other people like Cannonball Adderley, the drummers, Philly Joe Jones and Jimmy Cobb. But anyway, as Coltrane left Miles around 1960 to form his own group, he became an increasingly searching player. His family grew up in North Carolina, but consisted of a fair amount of preachers, and he was going to church a lot, and that whole realm, besides just the culture that he's part of, it was a big factor in his life. And again, even though he had a period of time where he kind of fell off the path, it was always back there, and he had enough fortitude to come back in a very strong way. And in the late of 1964, this piece kind of culminated in, it was a representation of his culmination of his spiritual sense, what he wanted to project to others, how he felt about things, and it's a monumental work. It's without question in the jazz realm. And so we're going to play for it in its entirety. And you can see the program. There's 4 movements, 4 parts to it. And in each part, there are various players who take a primary role in it. So I really hope you enjoy our first portion of our evening with John Coltrane's "A Love Supreme." Supreme, everybody. We're going to forego the intermission, but I will give you a couple of little tidbits before we continue, because I can get a few things in mind over here for that. The last part, song, is intriguing because when you have the recording, the album itself, you see a poem that Coltrane wrote in his quest to express his exaltation to God. And what he did on the recording is basically play the speech text rhythm of that poem on that section, the last section of the piece. So what Anand was doing was improvising in the timing and speech cadence of Coltrane's poem, with the group accompanying wherever he was going. And that's, not too many people have experience improvising with some sort of text. So I just want to give it a little, all these guys were killing it, but I want to give a little extra lift up to Anand for what the nature of that was. All right, so the next, we're going to continue. Again, we're going to blow off that intermission, and we're going to play a song from the early 1960s, Art Blakey Jazz Messengers, one of the great breeding grounds for great young talent, such as Freddie Hubbard, Wayne Shorter, Lee Morgan, et cetera, and Blakey's was one of the three main bands, along with Horace Silver's group and Miles Davis groups of the 50s and 60s, that were also sort of like graduate schools for the up-and-coming jazz player. And so this is a piece written by Detroit-born Curtis Fuller, who actually have a picture of him with our kids when they were 4 and 2 in our cabin at Interlochen. So he was a guest artist at Interlochen way back. And so one other detail. So this will be All Over by Curtis Fuller. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You'll hear me. Who wants to do first soloist? You? Okay, I'll give it to you. You guys. Huh? It's a solo. What doesn't it? Okay. We don't always follow that chart. So after Anand's done, we'll just play it by ear who's the succeeding soloist. So okay. One, two, three. Travis Phillips. Jason Rabbit. Alamo. Program. Hope you can deal with that, but we just go through. Cisa Maroney on drums. Jeff Phillips, bass. Stephen on sax. Stephen on guitar. Julie Berger on guitar. Jim Royer on piano. As you could probably tell, I mean, it's a lot of fun up here doing what we do, getting to where we get to, and it's the best thing that you can possibly do, where you're talking about and finding something that might be interesting that communicates to somebody else, and they're at least, you know, if things are a real issue, they're not telling me, but the audio says that things are, it's pretty special what is happening here, what's opening up. I mean, little things like when Z was soloing on that last tune. That last tune is a 16-bar jamming structure where you have 8 bars of one set of material, 4 of the second, and 4 more of the first. And he's doing different things on the drums kit to help exemplify the form when he solos. That's what musicians do who happen to play drums. So that's what you do. That's what you do. All right, now, fun time. I've been here a few years, and the change in things in music, where I now am a wonderful and just joyous colleague of a former U.S. grad who is now the head of music here. We've really connected up in some really nice ways, just in a lot of different areas, not just artistic. And so it's been a lot of fun to have this happening. And as we're kind of starting to get rolling here, some of you may have been aware and heard the really fine concert of the orchestra and our choruses last week. The more we can start to collaborate on things, well, that's cool. And so I decided to find this thing that I've known about for some time, which is just a good old hoot novelty Christmas song that was originally recorded by Louis Armstrong in 1953. And it's called "Is That You, Santa Claus?" and featuring Mr. Devin Steve, my colleague. You kind of get the sounds of somebody tiptoeing around the house trying to figure out, that's really Santa. I don't know. So here we go. Is that you, Santa Claus?
Is that you, Santa Claus? Gifts I'm preparing for some Christmas sharing, but I pause because hanging my stocking Sure is dark out, ain't the slightest spark out. Darn my black and the jaw. Who's there? Who is it? I'm stopping for a visit. Is that you, Santa Claus? Are you bringing a present for me? Something pleasantly pleasant for me. And it's just what I've been waiting for. Would you mind slipping it under my door? Cold winds are howling, or could that be growling? My legs feel like straws. Mama, oh me, my, kindly would you reply? Is that you, Santa Claus? Yes, hanging the stocking, I can hear a knocking. Is that you, Santa Claus? I said, who's there? Who is it? Are you suffering for a visit? Is that you, Santa Claus? Oh, there, Santa, you gave me a scare. Now stop teasing, cause I know you're there. But we don't believe in no goblins today. But I can explain while I'm a-shaking that way. And I can see old Santa through the keyhole. I'll get to the cause. One peek and I'll try there. Oh, there's an out there. Thank you, Santa Claus. Believe, a pity my need. Say that's you, Santa Claus. That's him, all right.
All right, so I remember when we had a full jazz ensemble. Oh, yeah. One more time, Devin Steve. We had when we had a pretty much a full big band, looking around for holiday stuff, and well, there's not a lot of Hanukkah big band records. I did find though one of the major publishers had a thing called Hanukkah Slaves for big band, which was a medley of Hanukkah and a dreidel song and things like that. So there's something. But not much. But over the years, I've done a little bit of what we call reharmonizing, where you put a different chord progression on a known or at least an already existing song. So I decided to come up with one of those where you have a new chord progression on the melody. So we're going to do my sort of reharm, they call it music reharmonization on O Hanukkah, and this will feature the rhythm section, and you'll get it. O Hanukkah. One, two, three. One, two. Ian Royer. C. Cimarroni. we now have the coming up the first of things that we will be hearing over the course of this year in conjunction with a sternad that Rowan Stevens is in the midst of, which is in the realm of jazz composing. And so tonight we're going to hear, as you can see, it's entitled Boss of Bliss. Anything you want to say about it?
Sure. I am in the process of creating a jazz album that features many types and styles of jazz. And this is a bossa nova. Bossa nova is originated from Brazil. And it's the title Bossa Bliss comes from, in my opinion, it sounds happy. So that's why I went with that.
Anything else? Okay. All right. Be a liquor solo. I'll give you a few. I'll see you next. Number 16 from Z up front. 16 from Z up front. 8. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for your support. In many ways, thank my colleagues, all, not just faculty, but the people on staff here who, well, for me, they're saints. I mean, they take care of things. They're great folks, and you wouldn't be diddly squat, at least in music, without them. And so, again, hats off to them as well for doing all the little things that people, they don't notice, but they sure notice when it looks okay, and it's just, yeah, that's how it ought to be. But my appreciation to them, and again, my teaching administrative colleagues, thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. We will close with a kind of little rousing thing written by one of the great trumpet players along with Freddie Hubbard of the past, well, quite a few decades. There's been some good ones out there, but along with Freddie Hubbard, Woody Shaw is one of the most influential trumpet players in jazz, sort of, if you want to call it post-miles, as well as his writing. He's a really fine writer when he was on the scene. This song I had a kind of memory of that when I was at grad school. The guys who I was going to school with did a gig backing Woody. The rhythm, he got a school rhythm section from Indiana University, and this is like a bootleg. It was fine. Woody didn't make it. But one of the tunes on the recording was this song that we're about to play for you to close tonight. His Ginseng People. Again, from that side, Ian Breuer on keyboards. Julian Berger on guitar. Jacob Ryan on alto. Ryan Stevenson, singer. Travis Phillips on bass. On that three, on drums, Lisa Maroney. Thank you guys. All right, Ginseng People. One, two,